Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singers, songwriters, and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest is a young and talented pop country artist from Burlington, Ontario, who is making waves in the music industry. Inspired by artists like Dolly Parton, Shania Twain, her clear and distinct voice delivers thought-provoking observations and encouragement through her music. With over 400,000 streams and a new single, she is quickly becoming a household name in the country music scene. So, let's spill the tea with Hayley Verrall. Welcome, Hayley.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Well, I love having a new talent on the show, especially the ones that are up and coming. We have so many different artists from all different kinds of genres, but when we've got new talent with new stuff coming up, it's especially great to hear from you. So let's talk about your inspiration for getting into music. I know the inspiration for your music and your songs. We mentioned that Dolly Parton, Shania Twain, certainly two megastars to influence you. But let's talk about your family influences because you had a dad that's a barbershop guy. You've got a sister that has a guitar. You play guitar and piano. You teach ukulele. Where did all this musical influence come from?
So, I didn't actually ever think about music as a career when I was younger. I always wanted to be a veterinarian or a basketball player, but being 5'2", I don't think basketball was going to be anything. And then I was told I was too dumb to be a veterinarian because I was not good at math or science in
Oh, that
school.
that was mean.
Yeah, so I kind of gave those ideas up and I really fell in love in with music and the music classes in my school. So I kind of just focused on those, but I still didn't know that music could be a career.
Mhm.
It wasn't until my third year of college when I started a program called Singing for Smiles, where I sing in retirement homes, classic country,
Mhm.
because I remembered a story and an experience that happened years and years ago where I found where music was my purpose. Because I sang in a nursing home for my grandma who had suffered from a stroke, and seeing what music can do and seeing how it lit her up, and she was trying to sing along, she was feeling better. I knew that music was something I had to do. So that's why I focus so much on music and even writing because I want to share my stories. I want to share my experiences and connect with as many people as possible.
When we were doing our chat before the interview, I asked you if you had done any busking, and you've got some busking stories. So why don't you bring us up to speed on your busking career?
So yeah, I've done a lot of busking. I've had some weird encounters, had some fantastic encounters, but definitely for me, people trying to put money in the guitar is new. As I'm playing, I
As
had
you're
this little I had this little girl, bless her heart, okay? I guess she didn't see the tip bucket in front of me. So her first instinct was to, while I'm playing, was to attempt to put the money into the sound hole. And that's why from now on, not only because of feedback, I have this little device that goes in the sound hole that blocks the hole.
That's too funny. She probably thought it was a piggy bank. Did she? She
You
saw
know
the.
what? Money
She's
is money. I'll
she's.
take it.
That's too funny. Now, being from Burlington, was your busking experience around Burlington? I know I had one artist that did busking at the bus stations or the bus stops in Mississauga, and And his story was that one day, two guys got off the bus and started fighting right in front of him.
Oh,
In Burlington, was your busking experience in Burlington or was it at some other place?
I didn't do a lot of busking in Burlington because I know you need permits for that. Hamilton was a law. I did a lot of busking in Hamilton because they didn't require permits.
Well, Hamilton can
Um,
be a very interesting place to perform and do busking.
yeah, I have some stories of Jackson. I played on top of Jackson Square.
Jackson Square,
You
sure.
probably know on
Yeah.
the rooftop. There's so many lovely people on there, and I've met a lot of good people up there. And but I have a lot of stories of the things that I've seen and the things that have happened up there. But
What was the important lesson that you learned from busking, and how did that impact you as a musician?
well, you gotta put your whole soul out there, and it doesn't matter if people give you money or not. You gotta do what you love and sing what you love, and even if there's no one around, think of it as a practice session.
Now, do people think that you are there to be their backup band and try, think that, well, I just sing along or I'll just, take over the show?
No, not usually. I've had one instant where I don't know if it was in Hamilton or not, or at a show, but I know I was playing a show one day and I had a guy come up and ask if he could play my guitar.
Oh,
And I usually say yes to a lot of things, but because it was my guitar and it's expensive and I didn't know what he was going to do with it, I had to say no. Like, I don't like saying no to people, but I can't
yeah,
afford the risk of at a show and my guitar being broken.
exactly, exactly. And you don't know if, I mean, if is he an experienced guitar player? Is he just going to hack away, or is he just going to take off with it? Like you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I usually let people sing. Like if they want to sing a song, sure, because I can wipe the microphone down after. They can't really run away with a microphone.
Now, you talk about your genre being country pop. Uh, where does that crossover come from? If you were to give us an example of a couple of other artists that would be singing country pop, where would it come from, or who would they be?
Well, that would be the Rec Laws. I'm not sure if you've heard of the Rec Laws.
Hmm.
You've heard of Josh Ross, probably. Like those artists do a lot of country pop and Madeline Merlot, Megan Patrick, like all those kind of artists. And Miranda Lambert, I guess, too, does a lot of country pop.
Miranda,
But
sure.
American country is a lot different than Canadian country, but I love both.
So explain the difference for us between the two.
American country is more traditional sounding, and Canadian country is more pop sounding.
So if the magic music genie could come down and say, Haley, you can open for any country artist that's around, a band or an individual. Who would you like to open for?
Dolly Parton,
Dolly
hands
Parton.
down, hands
No,
down. Yep,
no question about it.
no
Well,
question.
we'll put the call out to Dolly and we'll send this along to her and maybe I understand she is as nice in person as she is like when she does interviews as well. She's supposed to be a
Yeah,
very,
I've heard
very
she
nice
is super
person.
humble, and you'll see her on social media too. Like she wasn't accepting that she was put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame the first time. She wouldn't accept it,
Right.
and then she said, "Let me put out a rock album first," and she did. Did you hear it? The new rock album?
I have not heard it. She's got a
You
rock
have
album.
to.
She's doing
Yeah.
crossover into rock.
Well, because they wanted to induct her into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but
Oh,
she didn't feel like she deserved it. So she put this rock album out and then she accepted being put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
well, listen, at least she's being honest about the whole process for sure. Haley, what's the dream for you? What's on the horizon? Is it to be on Canada's Got Talent? Is it to go on tour? Is it to get a record deal? What's on your wish list?
The biggest thing for me is I would love to play on the Grand Ole Opry stage, be on that circle. and get my music out to as many people as possible. That's really the goal because I want to inspire people. I want to be like the Canadian kind of Dolly Parton. You know what I mean? Have so many people look up to you and be inspired by who you are as a person and what you put out for music.
And what's the challenge for you? What's standing in your way at this point?
There are millions upon millions of people also fighting for the same dream, you know?
Hmm.
So you gotta see what makes you different, what makes you stand out. But that's hard when there's so many people doing the same thing. You have to try and figure out what's different about you than somebody else that may be doing the exact same thing, you know?
So what is different about you? I mean, in business, they call it the unique selling proposition. What's your unique selling proposition in music? What stands out about Hayley Verrall that no one else can do or no one else has?
I definitely have a very unique voice. I can tell you that. It's like when you hear a lot of people on the radio, you can kind of differentiate who they are. Like Tennille Townes, for example. I don't know if you've heard of Tennille Townes, but she has this very distinct voice that you can tell it's her right away.
Hmm.
And then I have a different kind of writing style, and I just have so much drive to do what I love. And I think that's really important as well when you're being in this industry is hard work doesn't pay off just coming overnight. It takes time and you have to be driven.
Let's get into one of the songs that Hayley wrote. This song was released in July of 2024 and is ranked among the top 5 country downloads. Let's take a listen to singer-songwriter Hayley Verrall and her song Peach Iced Tea.
I was scrolling through my phone, feeling blue. Needed some company to get me through. I swiped right and I saw your face. Well, I knew right then after the first day that you're the perfect blend of everything I need. A little bit of sour and a whole lot of sweet. I'm addicted to your love and I can't get enough. Nothing tastes better than the homemade stuff. 'Cause you remind me of peach iced tea. Peach iced tea. We sat on the pier watching the sun go down. Talked about our dreams and getting out of this town. Love like this is too good to be, but I knew deep down you were meant for me. Yeah, you're the perfect blend of everything I need. A little bit of sour and a whole lot of sweet. I'm addicted to your love and I can't get enough. Nothing tastes better than the homemade stuff. 'Cause you remind me of peach iced tea. Peach iced tea. The moment you came into my life, I knew you were my bubbly paradise. You're the perfect blend of everything I need. A little bit of sour and a whole lot of sweet. I'm addicted to your love and I can't get enough. Nothing tastes better than the homemade stuff. 'Cause you remind me of peach iced tea. Peach iced tea. Peach iced tea. Peach iced tea.
That was Peach Iced Tea by Hayley Verrall. Hayley, tell us what that song was about and what was the inspiration to write it.
So that song is about my favorite drink, which I think it's hard to tell that it's definitely peach iced tea. Um, but with that song in particular and that idea, I wanted to compare it to a boy. So I've had this song idea in my phone for so long, and I didn't know how to write it. And I didn't know the I like fully how to write it. And I brought it up to so many songwriters and co-write sessions, but no one ever wanted to take it on. So eventually I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to try and do it myself. And that's what I came up with. And I think it's hilarious. And I think it's, I mean, I love it. I'm biased. I love it because it talks about a boy and my favorite drink.
Now, is there ever anything added into your favorite drink, like maybe a little libation, a little vodka or into the iced tea?
Well, that's my favorite drink. I love vodka. Also another guilty pleasure.
And when you're in the reference to the boy, is he the peach, the iced, or the tea?
Oh my gosh. I can't think of, well, I guess in the song it would have to be Peach because he's sweet, right? Sour and sweet.
How do people find out more about you, Hayley? What's the website, the socials, and the streaming platforms?
Well, anywhere you listen to music, you can find me. Anywhere that you look music for, like social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you can find me at Hayley Verrall Music. That's HayleyVerrall because my parents decided to name me that way.
We have been in conversation with Hayley Verrall. Hayley, thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me.